Hi there, welcome to Two Birds. I'm Fiona, and today's class is all about lengthening, strengthening and creating stability in the abdominal core and the muscles that support your spine. So it's a great class if you from time to time have some low back issues, but it's also a really good preventative class for maintaining your body's own functional movement and muscle balance. So I hope you enjoy, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Namaste. And begin your practice on your back today. Just tucking both knees in toward your chest, laying yourself down in a straight line. And with your knees tucked in, take a little roll side to side, perhaps a few circles through the low back spine. And then keep your right knee hugging in, send your left leg out straight and rest your left heel to the floor, point your left toes toward the ceiling and take a few deep breaths in and out here. And we're actively lengthening the hip flexors, and tightness here in the front of the hip flexors can be a source of low back pain because the tightness can create an anterior pull on the lumbar spine, so here we are lengthening out. So try and minimize the arch through your low back. Reach the crown of your head away from your left leg. And then we'll just simply switch, bring the right knee in, your left knee in and right leg out straight. And again, really reach out, be mindful of your posture through the spine, just maintaining that natural curvature. And one more deep breath in. As you exhale, just take your hands out wide to the side here and palms face down, so your arms are in a T. And we're going to circle through the hip, so taking your left knee over to your right, take a big circle through the leg. Rebend the knees, you come back up, and twice more in this direction. Staying really relaxed in your buttocks as you roll, and then circle back the other way. So nice controlled movement. And then just taking your left foot to the floor now, keep your right leg extended. And interlace your fingers behind the back of your head. Head can rest back on the floor into your hands. And really slowly, with your right toes flexed, raise the right leg up toward the ceiling until you feel a little bit of resistance there in the hamstrings. Kick out through your heel. And then lower down to a hover as you breathe out. So just stay with that sequence, moving slow, so nothing too fast or jerky through the body. Just bringing a little bit of warmth in and around the hips, hip flexors and the hamstrings. And then next time your right leg comes up, you're going to lift your head and your heart, release the left hand and cross diagonally to the outside of your right leg. And then hand back to the back of your head, lower the leg, lower halfway down with your torso, and then lift and cross. So as you move through this sequence, you should be able to feel your right side abdominals engage. And think about really lifting and trying to stretch the left shoulder diagonally across. So you're not just reaching with the arm, you're reaching with the shoulder. You're exhaling as you lift and twist. Last two. And then rest your head back, hug the knees in toward your chest with your hands. Little rock side to side through the low back spine, squishing all the way around to the sides of your waist. And then bring your right knee in toward your chest, left leg extends out straight. So take your arms out wide to a T, palms face down. And take some circles through the hips. So think about a gliding movement. So the thigh bone is gliding in your hip socket. You're not tensing or gripping through the buttocks, and switch directions. So you're just creating some freedom, movement in your hips, some warmth. And come back to center. Place your right foot down on the floor. Flex your left toes. Hover the left heel. And take your hands interlaced behind the back of your head. Keeping your head on the floor, raise the left leg. Heel up toward the ceiling until you find resistance in the back of the leg. Pause. And then lower. Slow to a hover. And then just stay with that sequence. So your upper body is completely relaxed. And you're moving in a nice controlled manner. Breathing with your movement. And then we'll add on a twist. Next time your left leg is up, release the right hand and diagonally cross across your body and lower back halfway. So you're lifting, twisting, left side obliques working now. Feel that little squeeze through the left side waist as you lift and twist. Last two. And we're going to keep it moving. Keep your head and your heart raised and catch your knees in toward your chest. Tuck into a little ball, and as you breathe in, send your legs away and your arms out wide to the side, and then catch the knees back in as you breathe out. So making sure you keep the arc in your low back to a minimum. Your abdominal muscles engaged deep in the abdominal core. So from the pelvic floor all the way down up toward the navel. Legs a little higher if you're still working on your core strength as you kick them away. And you might like to lift the buttocks a little as the knees draw in. Just got a few more here. Last two. Catch the knees in, rest your head back, and just turn on the back of your head so you can release your neck. And keep your head down here. Just take your feet to the floor and widen your feet away from one another to set up for windshield wipers. So feet touch the corner edges of your mat there, and then just drop the knees over to your left and pause. So you might find a mild stretch there through the top of your right thigh as you stretch the right knee down toward the floor. Try and keep both shoulder blades nice and balanced, back of the arms pressing into the floor behind you. And with a firm abdominal core coming all the way back up and over to the other side, knees drop over. Left knee reaches down toward the floor. And sensing a mild twist through the spine. So if you are quite tender or tweaky in the low back, you can stay with this sequence, alternating left and right. Or bring the knees back up so they point toward the ceiling, bring the toes together, raise the feet, and then drop the knees over to the left and hover the knees. Firm belly as you come back up and twist over to your right side. So really press into the back of your arms here to give you some stability. And as your knees drop over, you're firming your abdominals to help support your low back. So you can stay with this sequence, or you have an option to extend your top leg, making it just a little bit stronger. Reach out through your heel as you go. And last option, if you are quite strong in the core, is to extend both legs out straight and alternate side to side. So just stay with the sequence that suits your body, your back, your range of motion. Last two each side. And making your way back to center, gather the knees in toward your chest And cross your feet here so you can catch a hold of your feet. We're just going to take a little roll through the spine, rolling back. Come up and over your legs and find your way into tabletop position. Set your hands up underneath your shoulders, fingers spread there, and just walk your knees back so they're hip distance apart but a little back from your hips. And then move the hips forward and take some circles through the hips. So your buttocks circle over your heels. You're leaning out into the sides of your hips, side waist, your ribs. And inviting that movement to feel quite fluid in your body. And go ahead, roll it back the other way. And as you make your way back to center, bring the knees now back underneath your hips. And we're going to barrel roll the spine. So poke the ribs out to the left and then round your spine. Ribs out to the right. And then allow your belly to soften. Twice more in this direction. And circle back the other way. Try not to hold your breath, you're just moving with your breath. And come back to center. And balancing on your right hand now, extend your left arm forward as if you're shaking hands with someone. Left arm frames your ear. And then really firm the abdominal muscles in between your hip points as you reach your right leg back. So right leg's at hip height and you feel nice and balanced across the hips. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, just switch sides. So you can just move slow. The arm can come up before the leg so you stay balanced. And we're going to alternate between the two. So try to keep the hips nice and level, your abdominals engaged. Gaze can be down so the back of your neck feels unwrinkled. Another option here is to add in a core lunge. So you can choose here what you'd like to move with, whatever feels good for your back. And this particular sequence targets the integration of your stabilizing spinal muscles and your transverse abdominis, your deep core muscles, and it also strengthens your spinal extensor muscles. And we'll just do one more each side. And then just dropping your buttocks back on your heels. Try and take your knees a little wider than your hips there to come into a frog pose or extended child's pose. Keep your arms reaching forward. Spread all your fingers so you make full contact with the mat. And as you extend forward, reach the buttocks back toward your heels. And as you actively stretch there forward and back, it helps to elongate the back and the sides of the waist. So let your breath really fill your back body here. Your belly can soften between your thighs. 2 more deep breaths in and out. As you breathe in, glide up onto all fours. And then take your forearms down. So you can interlace your fingers here. Make sure your elbows are shoulder width apart. And step your legs back so you balance on the balls of your toes. Finding a forearm plank. As a modification, you can take your knees to the floor. So try and prioritize your form over sagging through the low back, really trying to strengthen the abdominal muscles here, your thigh muscles, and using that strength to support your low back. So keeping an integrity in your form, collarbones are wide, eyes are forward, and you're just breathing as calmly as you can, Noticing any areas in your body where you might be gripping unnecessarily and using extra effort where you don't need it. Just check in with your fingers, your jaw. And we'll take 3 more full breaths, slow and deep. And then allow the knees to come down. We're going to make our way into a kneeling position at the back of the mat, walking your hands back and sitting your buttocks down on the back of your heels. Sitting upright through the spine. Take your fingertips down by your side as you breathe in. Reach the arms up overhead. Send your gaze up to the tip of the thumbs. Exhale, hands through the heart center. Interlace the fingers. Turning the hands inside out. Dome your spine. Really inflate your upper back. Press the palms away. And as you breathe in, send your arms up overhead and find a mild arc through your spine. As you breathe out, we're going to take our hands to the back of your head. Elbows are out wide to the side. And breathing in here, really puff your chest and arch your spine. Perhaps send the gaze up, elbows wide. Pause for your out breath. Take another big breath in, lifting the floating ribs up away from your hips. And as you breathe out, round your spine now. Draw the elbows toward one another, nod the chin in. Pause for an extra round of breath. And then as you breathe in, come back to neutral spine. So really firm in the belly, tall through the spine. Take a side bend here, drop the left elbow down toward the floor, right elbow up toward the ceiling. Stretching through laterally through the right side of the waist. And then bring yourself upright, feel your belly firm. And then take a side stretch to your right, right elbow down, left elbow up. And then come back to center and release your hands down by your side. We'll do that one more time. One movement, one breath. Arms up overhead, send the gaze up. Press your palms, hands through the heart center, interweave the fingers. Turn the palms out as you breathe out, dome your spine. And as you breathe in, send your arms up overhead, stretch tall there, sides of the waist. Lower the hands to cradle the back of your head. Elbows out wide, lift and puff the chest. Breathing out round the spine, elbows draw toward one another. Back to neutral spine, firm in the belly. Take a side stretch to your left, left elbow drops down, right elbow points up. Back to center, firm belly, and over to the other side. Come back to center. And release your hands forward now and come back into extended child's pose. So we're setting ourselves up for downward facing dog here, and extended child's pose always gives us nearly always the optimal distance between our hands and our feet. So see if you can keep your buttocks down on your heels as you reach the arms forward. Spread all your fingers, make full contact with the mat. Gliding up onto all fours as you breathe in. Pressing back to downward facing dog as you breathe out. Place a soft bend in your knees and really exaggerate that feeling of length through the sides of your waist, through the reach of your arms. Feel your spine gently traction with the weight of your head. And then really slowly pedal out through your heels. You might like to alternate with the heels down. Keeping your movement slow, controlled. And then just find a place of stillness where your eyes can rest. And feeling your breath touch the back of your body. Breathing deep. So downward dog targets the back extensor muscles, the large muscles that help form your lower back, and they support your spine. And they're also responsible for helping you stand and lift objects. And each time you return to downward dog, you are realigning the spine and encouraging that extension. We'll take one more smooth cycle of breath in and out. As you breathe out, soft bend in the knees, send the gaze forward and walk yourself forward to the top edge of your mat. And bringing the feet hip distance apart there, just take an easy forward fold with a deep bend in the knees so you're not pulling on your low back. Lay your torso on your thighs, catch opposite elbows. And feel the crown of your head point down toward the floor. And just notice the weight and how it's falling in your feet. See if you can even that pressure out through all four corners of your feet. Very lightly start to tilt the sit bones toward the ceiling. And that movement can be very subtle. Keep the torso on the thighs so you lengthen into the back of the hamstrings and the calves. And then releasing, letting the hands fall to the floor, hanging in ragdoll. And then on a slow in-breath, gently rise to stand. Send the arms out wide to the side. Send your gaze up. And as you exhale, bring your hands to your heart center. So we'll move through a couple of rounds of surya namaskar C, and we'll add in some variations, all designed to take your spine through its range of motion, help you feel more open and spacious in your body. Take a large breath in, send the arms overhead, your gaze up. And as you exhale, a little bend in the knees, take your right arm back and your left arm forward for a twist. As you breathe in, sweep your arms up, send the gaze up, and we'll take a twist to the opposite side, left arm back, right arm forward. Inhale, come back to center, gaze up to the tip of the thumbs, exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Allow your head to drop, your knees to bend. Inhale now, straighten the legs. And as you exhale, step your right foot back to a low lunge, right knee to the floor. Slowly sweep your arms up overhead when you're steady. Stay here for your out breath. Take another deep breath in, reach up a little taller. And as you exhale, fingertips down to frame your front foot. Pause there now. So you just notice your spine's now on a little bit of a diagonal, firm through the belly to help support your low back. And really extend through the front of your spine so your chest almost moves forward, collarbones widen. You've got some light engagement through your right glute muscles around your buttocks and your hamstrings, pushing down with your front heel. And just savor a couple of breaths here. Another deep stretch for your hip flexors to counteract all the deep flexion that they often experience in sitting posture. Take one more deep breath in. And as you exhale, just walk your fingertips back underneath your shoulders, find Ardha Hanuman. So you're straightening out through the front leg, curling your left toes toward the ceiling, quads engaged, and then pause there for a couple of breaths. No need to rush, you've got an unhurried breath. And you're taking in all the feedback from your body. So just noticing how you feel on this side of your body. And often all this movement and yoga, and particularly this kind of focus class, helps to restore balance in your muscle groups. Balance left to right side, and bringing your body back into a feeling of symmetry. So we move with awareness. And hopefully we can start to recognize the patterns that we make in our body, and then moving in a way with the intention of creating more freedom, movement, stability, better body alignment and posture. So now we're just going to roll forward and frame your front foot so you're back in your low lunge. And then we're going to step forward to the top edge of the mat. Toes come together. Take a halfway lift, breathe in. Exhale and refold over the legs, soft bend in the knees. Reach the arms overhead, rise to stand. Keep your feet active, push the floor away. Exhale, hands to your heart center. So second side, arms sweep up overhead. Exhale, right arm back, left arm forward and twist. You can let your torso revolve there, back to center, breathe in. Exhale, twist to your left, left arm back, right arm forward. Back to center, stand really tall, reach up. Exhale, forward fold over the legs. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. You can look forward, extend your spine. Fingertips down, lunge your left foot back, left knee to the floor for low lunge. When you're steady, reach the arms alongside your ears. Stay here for your exhale. Take a deep breath in, really firm in the belly, wide in the ribs with your breath. And as you exhale, fingertips to frame your front foot. And just notice the shape change through the torso. Now you're extending through your spine, supported by your low back. Torso's on a diagonal. Back shin, all the toes pressing down into the mat to give you stability. Left glutes lightly engaged. And then from here, just start to walk the hands back. Straighten out through your right leg, right toes point toward the ceiling. Right quads engage. Notice how you feel on this side. Try and keep a balance through the hips as you stretch into the back of the hamstrings there. So if you need to, draw the right hip back, left hip forward. And now we'll flow. So just walk your fingertips forward, frame your front foot. We're going to step back to downward facing dog. As you breathe in, move forward into high push-up. As you exhale, knees, chest and chin to the floor. And we'll set up for Sphinx pose. Draw the elbows forward, shoulder width apart, palms face down, forearms parallel. Drop your chin in toward your chest so you really feel flexion through the back of your neck there. And take a little bit of the back bend out of the posture. And then fire up your leg muscles so they feel engaged, all 10 toes pressing into the mat. Firm belly, your pelvis presses down into the mat as you lift the belly up away from the mat. Start to bring the chest forward through your arms. Blossom open through the collarbones. Send the gaze forward. Deep breath in here. Exhale, peel down toward the floor. Slide the hands back by your ribs. Roll back to downward facing dog. Take 5 full breaths here. Bring the weight into your index finger and your thumb, through the knuckles of your fingers. Actively pushing the floor away as you extend out through your arms. And next round will flow, 1 movement, 1 breath. Take a deep breath in, look forward. End of your exhale, step or lightly hop forward to the top edge of your mat. Ardha Uttanasana, straight legs, flat back, look forward. Exhale and fold, soft bend in the knees. Rise to stand as you breathe in, keep your legs strong, stand tall. Exhale, hands to your heart center. So we start with our twist, arms up overhead, breathe in. Soft bend in the knees, twist to your right, arms spread out wide. Inhale back to center. Exhale, twist to your left. Back to center as you breathe in, stand a little taller. Exhale, forward fold over your legs. Ardha Uttanasana, breathe in, bring your heart forward. As you exhale, lunge your right foot back, right knee to the floor. 1 movement here, 1 breath, arms reach, breathe in. Exhale, hands down either side of your front foot. Take another deep breath in, lean your hips forward, keeping your left glutes engaged. As you exhale, walk your hands back, straighten out through your front leg. Walk forward, frame your front foot. Lightly step forward, top edge of the mat, big toes to touch. Halfway lift, breathe in. Forward fold, breathe out. Rise to stand, breathe in. Hands to your heart, breathe out, find center. Arms overhead, we start with our twist. Twist to your right as you breathe out. Breathe in, back to center, stand a little taller, firm belly, exhale, twist to your left. Back to center, breathe in. Forward fold, Uttanasana, breathe out. Ardha Uttanasana, breathe in, extending your spine. Exhale, left foot lunging back, left knee to the floor. Reach your arms, hands to the floor as you breathe out. Stay here for an extra breath. Perhaps let the hips lean forward. And as you exhale, draw your weight back and straighten out through the front leg. Walk your fingertips forward, frame your front foot. Plant the hands, we'll take a flow, step back, downward facing dog. Ripple forward to a high push-up as you breathe in. Lowering to the floor as you breathe out. Cobra pose now, keep your hands by your ribs, elbows pointing back, peel up. Very little pressure in the hands there, use your core strength. Exhale, downward facing dog. 5 deep breaths. Feel free to close your eyes, just pause. Deep breath in, looking forward. And at the end of your exhale, step or lightly hop forward to the top edge of your mat. Take a halfway lift, breathe in. Exhale, forward fold. Arms rise, make your way to stand, send the arms overhead. Exhale, rest your hands to your heart center. Surya Namaskar A with some variations. We'll start with a lateral stretch. Arms overhead, breathe in. Right hand to your left wrist. And as you breathe out, take a side bend to your right. As you feel yourself breathe in, come back to center, nice firm belly. Switch the hands. Side bend to your left. Back to center, stand tall, breathe in. Exhale, forward fold over your legs. Halfway lift, breathe in, look forward, extending. Exhale, hands down, step back to plank pose and pause. Take a deep breath in here, mountain climbers coming up. As you exhale, bring your right knee in toward your chest, squeeze the abs. Step back. Exhale, left knee in. Step back, we're going to switch it up. Right knee to the upper right elbow. Stepping back. Left knee, upper left elbow, and step back. Straight through the middle now, right knee and left knee. To the outside of the elbow now, right knee and left knee, outside left elbow. Last round, each way through the center, squeeze the core, left knee, right knee, upper right elbow. Keep pushing into your hands. Keep the weight out of your wrists. And a vinyasa. Please, if you would like, drop the knees, the chest, and then the chin to the floor. Back bend of your choice. Gently peel up. Mild arc through the spine. And exhale, downward facing dog. 5 deep breaths. Just pause. Be still. And let your breath wrap all the way around the back of your body. Feel it moving up and down your spine. Filling and expanding. Emptying and settling. Take a smooth breath in, gaze forward. And at the end of your exhale, step or lightly hop forward to the top edge of your mat. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, look forward, collarbones wide. Exhale and fold. Rise to stand on your breath in, full breath, gaze up. Exhale your hands to your heart. Take a deep breath in, send your arms overhead. And as you exhale, dive forward over your legs. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, looking forward. And this time we're going to step back for a high lunge. Right foot steps back. Take your time to arrive. Hands can come to your hips. Bring yourself upright. If you're feeling steady, arms rise alongside your ears, palms facing one another. Just to give yourself a little bit more room through the shoulders, roll the little fingers in toward each other. Drive down through your front heel to keep you steady. Stay on the balls of your back toes. Take a deep breath in here. And as you exhale, lower and hover your right knee right above the mat. Inhale to lift. Exhale, lower and hover. Inhale. Exhale, slow, controlled movement. Engaging your muscles to first create that solid foundation for the movement. So your abs are engaged. And we're going to transition into Warrior 2. Your back heel lands when you're ready. Arms open out wide to a T. Stay with your breath here, making your subtle adjustments to ensure that your spine is straight up and down. And check in with your front knee. Make sure the eyes of your left kneecap point forward. And that your right leg feels engaged. Pinky toe side of your right foot firmly anchored. And now you're solid and steady. Give everything a little bit of length and space. If you feel soggy in the belly, firm your abdominals. And keep the legs where they are. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Reach up and back. Lateral stretch here. And as you exhale, straighten both legs, push into your feet, make your way into triangle pose. Reach out as far as you can over the midline of the left leg, and then place the left hand down, right hand to the sky. So as you expand across your chest, reach through your arms. And as you elongate your spine, stretch through the sides of your waist so they feel parallel with one another. And as you push down through your feet, extend and straighten the legs. And in triangle pose, we're strengthening the back of the legs, and we're also lengthening the muscles along the sides of your torso. And we're also stretching the muscle fibers alongside the outer hips. We send the top arm overhead, reach out, another lateral stretch, one of the spine's range of motions. And then eyes down, hands down, frame your foot, step back, high push-up. Exhale, low push-up, feel free to modify knees, chest and chin to the floor. Back bend of your choice, drawing your chest forward, the ribs forward, arching through the spine. Exhale, downward facing dog. We're going to move straight through to the other side. Take a deep breath in, look forward. At the end of your exhale, step or lightly hop forward to the top edge of your mat. Take a halfway lift, breathe in. Exhale, forward fold. Rise to stand, take a full breath to arrive, arms up, eyes up. Exhale, rest your hands to your heart center. Arms overhead, next breath in. Dive forward over the legs, breathe out. Moving with your breath, Ardha Uttanasana, breathe in. Exhale, step your left foot back and find your high lunge. Arms rise as you breathe in. Stay here as you breathe out. Really get steady. Right foot over in the right lane there. Firm in your abdominal muscles here. Try and minimize the arc in the low back. And take a deep breath in with your arms up or at your hips, and as you exhale, lower and hover your back knee. And we'll just stay with that sequence, lifting and lowering. Moving with your breath. And when you feel ready, we're going to transition into Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2, back heel lands, arms open out wide to a T. And tracking your right knee forward now, so the knee is pointing toward the middle toes or pinky toe side of your front foot. Make sure you can see your toes there over the ledge of the knee. And you feel a light stretch from the groins toward your knees, so the inner thighs are gently opening. Spine tall, proud chest. Keep the legs where they are. Inhale, reverse. Right arm reaches up and back. And as you exhale, straighten both legs. Make your way into Trikonasana, triangle pose. So the temptation here is to take your right hand down as far as it can go, perhaps even to the floor. But it feels probably more spacious to be a little bit more elevated here and concentrate on extending through the right side of your waist. So you eradicate that banana or banana shape through the side of the waist, and you're really stretching out, because here we're trying to work the muscles either side of the spine. Keep your legs engaged and start to send the top arm overhead, left arm overhead reaches forward, reach out, and then eyes down, hands down. Take a vinyasa, stepping back your high push-up. Exhale with control, low push-up, elbows pointing back. Upward dog or cobra pose here, back bend that feels okay in your body. And exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe deeply. And as you feel yourself breathe out, a brief pause, knees down, buttocks to the heels, extended child's pose. Knees can move a little wider to allow your torso to extend forward between the thighs, between your knees. And just notice as you revisit this pose, if you feel any shifts in energy, any more spacious through the sides of your waist, any looser in your low back. From here, we're going to come up onto all fours and going to make our way over onto our right side hip to set up for forearm side plank. Lots of different modifications here to make it accessible. Make sure your right elbow is a little forward of your right shoulder, so when you lift, it's underneath your shoulder and you've got good alignment there. Right over onto your right hip. Both legs could be straight here, toes flexed if you're strong. Right knee can bend here. And point the toes back behind you if you'd like to modify. This makes it a whole lot easier, let me tell you. And then raise the right hip and the left arm up toward the ceiling. So see if you can now get a little bit of a banana shape on the underside of your body. So you're squeezing your right side oblique muscles. Take a deep breath in. Try not to talk too much. Exhale, thread the left arm underneath your body and turn your belly button toward the floor. Inhale, raise the left arm. Exhale, curl and thread. Inhale, lift. Exhale, curl and thread. Really squeeze the right side waist. Last one, as you lift the left arm, keep it left arm lifted and lower your right hip down. And then what you're going to do is slide your right knee now up toward your right hand, and then take your left knee to the sole of your right foot. Bring your torso upright. Legs are in swastikasana. Left hand to your left ankle, and now reach your right arm up and overhead. So keep the torso facing outwards. Perhaps spin the gaze up Stretch out through the muscles on the right side of your waist. Intercostals, getting a little bit more space between the ribs. And then as you feel yourself breathe out, come all the way over onto your right hip once more. And you're going to bend your elbow, rest your head into your right hand. And again, bend your right knee, the underside knee, point the toes back behind you. And then take your left hand and you're going to place your left thumb to the fleshy part just below the top of your hip, kind of in your low back there. So you're going to apply a little bit of pressure into that left hand and all the rest of your left fingers wrap forward, so you're kind of hugging your hip there. Raise the left leg and point your left toes down a little so you abduct the hip, the left hip. Okay, from here, nice slow sequence so you keep your balance. You're going to tap your left knee forward to the floor, and then from here you're going to extend your left leg out behind you so it moves past your midline, and you're going to stretch out. So you're going to stretch through the left hip flexor, and then you're going to raise the left leg up and keep the left toes pointing down a little, and then we repeat that sequence. So try and move slow, otherwise you get really wobbly. Left knee taps forward, left leg extends out straight behind you, left leg lifts, and then repeat. Knee down forward, extend back, and raise the leg. And we'll do it twice more. And now just put a little bit more pressure into your left thumb. And keep moving with your breath. And then from here we're going to switch sides. So just coming down onto your left side hip now for forearm side plank. Making our way around the core muscles. Check in with your alignment. Quite important here, left elbow is underneath the left shoulder when you lift your hips. So adjust if you notice once you've lifted your hips that the elbow's in an odd angle. Try and keep your body in one straight line. Left knee can bend here. Right leg straight or both legs straight, toes flexed. Raise the left hip up away from the mat. Reach your right arm up toward the ceiling. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, curl, thread the right arm underneath your body. Turn your belly button toward the floor. Inhale, reach up, lift the left side hip up so the abs engage. And exhale, curl in. Inhale, reach. Exhale, curl in. Use your breath to guide your movement. Right hand lifts up, left hip lifts up. And then drop the left hip down. Not heavy, just lightly place it down. And then draw the left knee up toward your left hand. Right knee to the sole of your left foot. Sit the torso upright, firm in the belly. Right hand to your right ankle, left arm up and overhead. Reach away, should feel like a sweet stretch there. See if you can keep turning your torso open. And then windmill the left hand down to the floor and come all the way down onto your left side. So left elbow bends, left hand supports your head, body in one straight line, and then bend your left knee so your foot points out behind you. Then you're going to raise your right leg and your right hand's going to come to cup your hip. So you're going to apply a little bit of pressure just below the hip bone with your thumb, and all your other fingers curl around to the front of your hip. So you raise your right leg, point your right toes down a little so that there's an internal rotation with your right leg, and then you're going to tap your right knee forward. Extend your right leg back so you get that deep hip flexor stretch, and then raise the right leg. Toes point down a little, and then knee down forward, tap it down, extend the leg back, keep applying that little bit of a pressure in your thumb, raise the right leg, and tap down with the knee, extend back. See if you can keep the upper part of your torso fairly solid, firm without rolling around and pulling yourself off balance. And we'll just take one more cycle. A little bit more pressure into the thumb now. Often a tightness in the hips can cause low back pain. So we're just trying to massage it out there with a little bit of movement and pressure. Come back to center. And then from here, we're just going to roll onto our bellies here. Extend your arms out forward into Superman arms. Arms about shoulder width apart, a little wider if you need to. Take your feet a little wider than the hips, pointing your toes to the corner edges of your mat behind you. And here we're going to strengthen the spinal muscles either side of the spine. Do take care, move in your own safe range of motion. So you're going to take a deep breath in, raise the arms, raise the legs. And as you exhale, bend the elbows to cactus arms and bring your toes together. As you inhale, reach the arms forward, Superman arms, legs out wide. And then exhale, bend the elbows, bring the legs together. So we'll do that 3 more times. Reach and exhale. Reach away. Exhale, cactus arms, legs together. Last one, reach. Cactus arms, legs together. And then rest down onto your belly. And then just turn your head to one side, doesn't matter which side. Let your heels fall out to the side. Give your low back a chance to decompress and relax and spread. And then bring your forehead back to the mat. Extend both arms out wide to the side. Now your palms are face down, arms are in a T. Keep your right arm extending out at shoulder height. Come up onto the fingertips of your left hand. Point your left elbow toward the ceiling. Roll onto your right hip. So as you roll onto your right hip, you should be able to feel a light stretch across the front of your right chest through your pectoral muscles there. And a mild twist through the spine. That's going to be exaggerated if you take the left knee, bend it, and take the toes behind you. So you can exaggerate that stretch. Don't move and stay there if it doesn't feel comfortable for you, particularly in the shoulders. Keep a firm belly and take 2 more deep breaths in and out. And then we'll just simply roll over to the other side, left arm out at shoulder height. Do check that it is at shoulder height. You don't want it off on a different angle. And then come up, Spider-Man hands on your right hand, elbow up toward the ceiling, and then just roll onto the opposite side hip. And the legs can stay glued together here, or you can bend your top knee and take the toe behind you just to give you another shape to play with. And then when you arrive in that shape, see if you can just breathe a little smoother, a little deeper. Tune into the sensations you can feel in your body. And 1 more deep breath in. And as you exhale, come back onto your belly. Take your hands by your ribs and just transition back into child's pose there. Buttocks to the heels. Stretch long through your arms. You've been here about 3 or 4 times now during the class, hopefully feeling a little bit more open now. And as you glide up onto all fours, breathe in. Press back to downward facing dog as you breathe out. And taking 3 more deep breaths in and out. And from here, we're going to make our way onto our buttocks in the middle of the mat. So you can just drop the knees down, swing the legs around, or take a little light hop across the legs. Find the soft part of your buttocks. Place the feet in front of you with a bend in the knees there. And lift up nice and tall through your spine. So your spine's going to be on a little bit of a diagonal here. You want to engage through your abdominal muscles. and just cross your right foot over the left foot. So you can keep the feet on the floor here for this sequence, or you can raise the legs, and with your ankles locked there and your feet crossed, it gives you a little bit more stability with the legs lifted. Taking your hands into a fist now at your heart center, and we're just going to move through some Russian twists. I'm not sure why they're branded Russian, but they are. We're going to take our fists over to the left, really twist and revolve through the torso, reach all the way over, and then come back through center and twist over to your right. And then just stay with that sequence. So you move as far as you feel capable of doing. Now that you're a little bit warmer, we are working the oblique muscles again in a slightly different shape. And try and move slow, so you really engage through the abdominals. Feet to the floor if you feel like you're slouching. And then place the feet down and recross the legs. And then lift the feet up or keep the feet on the floor and return to your twists. And we've just got a few more here. Try and keep lifting the navel toward your sternum toward the crown of your head, so you really feel proud, upright in your posture. Last two, each side. And back to center, place the feet down. Take your hands behind you, point your fingertips toward where your buttocks are. Elbows a little bit bent. We're coming into tabletop and a variation there. So as you lift your hips and with your knees bent, make sure that your knees have landed over your ankles. If not, shift your feet either forward and back until you find that beautiful alignment where your bones are stacked. So take a deep breath in here and press up. So your glutes engage, hips lift, and as you exhale, lower and hover your buttocks. Exhale to lift and inhale to lower. So do this quite slow. Really feel your glute muscles, your buttocks muscles engaging, top part of your hamstrings engaging. This is also very helpful strength to build in the back of your body. Remember, we're just trying to balance out front and back, so we have good bilateral balance in our muscles. So an option here, it might not be for everyone. I kind of think it works better if you have long arms. Just a theory. So when you're lowering down, you can actually swing back, buttocks between your arms like a swing, and then you come back to tabletop, lightly squeeze the buttocks and then swing back. You're flexing your toes as you swing back. If it doesn't work for you, stay with the tabletop. And if it does work for you, really pressing into the hands, so you're pushing the floor away. You've got an upward energy through the arms. We'll just take two more. Good work, everyone, nearly there. And then land yourself lightly. And we'll make our way all the way down onto our backs. Tuck your knees in toward the body. Give yourself a little rock side to side. And then from here, we are going to take a hip groin stretch. So reclined pigeon, taking your right ankle to your left knee, and draw your left knee back toward you. You can interlace your fingers around the front of your shin or behind the back of your knee there, whatever feels more accessible for you. And you're gently guiding your right knee out to the side, keeping your right toes flexed to help protect your knee. And this doesn't need to be a really forceful stretch. In fact, none of our stretches should feel forceful, but sometimes they feel like that when we're quite tight in the hips. So just find that edge or just below your edge where you feel comfortable, your breath is relaxed, upper body relaxed. And whenever you're in pigeon pose or reclined version that we are in now, we're lengthening our hip rotators and flexors. And oftentimes when you're really congested in the hips, that can contribute to low back pain. And here we're just, through all the movements throughout the class, we're trying to bring and restore more range of motion, or the same range of motion that your bodies naturally have. And everyone's a little bit different. So the idea is that you gain more freedom when you find your own range of motion and restore it. And so we'll just gently release, we'll switch sides. And this is a nice stretch also after doing those bridge lifts, working the glute muscles. We're now stretching them out. Keeping the toes flexed now on your left foot. And one more deep breath in and out. And release. And so from here we're going to come into a reclined twist. Lots of different options. You can come into that windshield wiper variation where your feet are quite separated and you just drop the knees over. You could wrap your legs, right leg on top of the left leg, crossing at the legs, taking the knees to the left. Or you could simply stack your knees, one on top of the other, and take your knees over to the left. And find that perfect position for your arms. It could be cactus arms, could be arms out wide, palms face up or down. Just play around with the shape in your body so you feel completely comfortable and you can really empty your weight in the legs, in the hips. You can allow the muscles either side of your spine to relax. And take a deep breath in here. Exhale, firm the belly. Bring the knees back up and take your twist to the opposite side, re-wrapping the legs, stacking the knees, or just that windshield wiper variation. Pause and linger. And one more deep breath in. As you exhale, firm your belly, bring your knees and gather them in toward your chest into the number 11, so knees quite wide. And take one last rock side to side. And then take both feet to the floor and extend the legs out so you make your way into Shavasana. Heels out to the corner edges of your mat. Palms face up to the side of your body. And of course, if you have any props that you like to use to support you in Shavasana, getting them now. And particularly if you are quite sensitive in the low back, always a rolled up blanket or a bolster underneath your knees is so supportive. And to complete your practice with integrity and to give you the best feeling after practicing, please remain here for at least 5 minutes so your body can fully relax and unwind. Don't rush this part. Get yourself completely comfortable. Get all the wriggles out of your body. And just close your eyes and relax. So we are now at the 1 hour mark. I've gone a little bit over. But do take this time to rest, and I will leave you quietly here. I hope you've enjoyed this class, and I do hope you feel a whole lot more spacious and free in your back and your hips after this class. Let me know with a comment or any feedback. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks for joining. Namaste.